Hey, everybody. It's great to be here. Another episode of Education Smeducation. We're having a nice time. I'm in Chicago. There's so much snow. Everything is so gray. I hate it. I've decided to move to the South, move to Florida, and become a real softie on weather issues. Just really, Mallory's down in Florida still. I was in Florida for a week, and I say I need to go back to do school, and then I came back, and there was 3 feet of snow on the ground.
Is that how you
Let me
said it?
introduce you, Jeffrey.
I'm gonna.
That's when I'm being a little naughty boy. I say it goes way up here. It gets way up here. But basically, I tell you that because this one might get a little off the rails because I haven't talked to people in a while, except for on Zoom, which is how we record this podcast. So we thank the Zoom Corporation, whose product really went through the roof, and they did nothing to improve it this entire year. It's amazing. Everyone has to use it, and they're like, let's just keep it shitty. Yeah, what are we gonna do? With me, as always, the headmaster, Ken Hamlett. Ken, how you doing?
Good, man. Excited to be here. Happy to be in the snowy state of Illinois, the beautiful city of Chicago, baby. These are the winters I heard about and kept calling Chicagoans pussies because the first 2 years I was here, the winters weren't that great. Like, they weren't that bad. Like, snow-wise, obviously the polar vortex, like, a couple years ago was awful.
That was pretty nuts.
But like there was no snow. So I was like, you guys are complaining about cold weather. There's no snow here. And now there's like 2 feet of snow outside.
Does it get nuts in Seattle, or is it just people?
No.
And...
it gets nuts because it's like real gray, rainy, and a lot of people kill themselves because of it. But like weather, it's all right.
Listen, when you're walking down the street, you gotta hop over about 3 or 4 dead bodies. But other than that,
when you're driving, it's always a hassle because there might be somebody to jump out in front of your car. Like, you never.
That happened to me the first. Oh, also,
what happened to you?
Like a suicide attempt?
No, not that.
That was my joke. That was my.
Somebody jumped in front of your car.
No, the first time I stayed in Chicago to try and get a job, I used also Jeff Horste is here. Jeff is a very funny comedian.
Hey.
I think you might have been a little maybe a year after me starting in Detroit, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was in that range.
All
close to the beginnings.
Joey's Boys.
Yeah, Joey's Comedy Club, R.I.P.
Joey's Comedy Club inside the Kickers Complex. Come on down, have an overpriced steak, and watch up. And
in one of the worst shaped rooms for a comedy club.
It defies all logic that it existed for any amount of time. My favorite thing about Joey's, it will always be that the intro video that they eventually just stopped using because it was such dog shit. But the intro video was the bar was owned by a guy who used to be a kicker in the NFL. It was the Kickers Complex. His name was Joey. And the intro video at the comedy club, usually you'd have a clip of the acts that are coming up next week. Yeah. Or, some places will play funny viral videos. There's a lot of different options to play. What Joey's did was show videos of the titular Joey kicking field goals.
No way.
100% true. Nothing says let's laugh like a 35-yarder, baby.
That's the most unexciting part of the game.
Yes.
I would never shit on anybody for being a professional NFL kicker. It's not a fun highlight reel unless it's the last few seconds winning a Super Bowl. How high the stakes have to be for kicking to be something exciting, because without stakes, it's just a dude kicking a ball.
For sure.
It's
like nobody remembers the kicker.
Yeah.
Nobody knows their name. Like the Patriots kicker, like that won them 2 Super Bowls.
And
half the people can't remember their name. Still,
nobody cared. He won the Super Bowl, and they're like, but eventually they're like, let's just say Tom Brady won it, though. Let's just give it. I mean,
Tom Brady was the kicker, right? Of course. Tom Brady threw the ball, he caught the ball, and he kicked the ball. He was,
and he holds the ball when they kick it. So
yeah,
did everything.
It's like he's got 4 arms like Goro from Mortal Kombat. He is amazing. Did they think that like some long snapping nerds were going to be in the crowds? Anyway, but that's where we started, and it was we miss it and we love it to this day. Anyway, the first time I came to Chicago to like try and get a job, my aunt lived in Evanston, which is like one town up, and I took the train into the city to go to like a job interview, and somebody did jump in front of the train the first time I ever took the train in Chicago.
Jesus Christ.
He brought it back.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We didn't know he. Oh, wow.
9 years later, I'm still here. I didn't think that was an omen or anything.
Oh man.
People are dying to get me to not move here, and I was still like,
oh god,
I won't be told anything different.
It'd be a great thing to point out as like a tour guide. He's just only pointing out like, yeah, I got mugged in that corner. That's where somebody jumped in front of a train.
Like that experience you get when you're dating someone and then they take you to their hometown and they're like, oh yeah, that's where I used to go and have ice cream, and that's where I got asked to prom, and I saw a man jerk off and then eat it over there. Like, it's just crazy. What?
The memories.
Oh, the memories. The sweet, sweet memories. Anyway, Jeff is Jeff's very funny. And Jeff, you Southfield, correct?
Southfield, Michigan. Yep. Detroit, Michigan, for those people that don't know where Southfield is.
Jeff is a big Lodge Freeway guy. Loves the Lodge.
Big.
This is. I know it's called Education to Education. We'll eventually talk about. So, what was that? What kind of neighborhood you grew up in? What kind of schools were you going to? What's Southfield like? And eventually, we're also going to bring up your sweet high school mustache, because it was, boy, oh boy, you look like you were going to fucking baton a figure skater in the knee with that thing, buddy.
Oh man, I don't know. He's laughing. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen the pictures yet?
I haven't. And I'm so excited now.
Oh wow, you just think it's a regular mustache. You have no idea. You're laughing to be polite. You don't even know. You don't even know.
The description made me feel like it was an epic mustache for sure.
Yeah, and I have to accept it. It's not like I was. It's not like I was like, "Oh, Mike, you're exaggerating." I was like, "That's accurate." It sounds. I haven't heard that exact description before, but it's accurate. Yeah, I'm from Southfield. I grew up at 8 Mile and Evergreen. So I was one side of the street is Detroit, and then on one side is Southfield. And I like Southfield. I'm happy that I grew up there. I was one of the token whites. I like saying whites.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it's fun. It bothers some people, and I don't know why. The fact that it bothers some people is why I enjoy saying it, because I'm like, logically, I don't know
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's just, but ever so often.
Yeah.
Anytime I could throw it like in the title of something, it's just someone's like, that's racist, calling them whites, and I'm like, all right, choose your battles. Okay.
Let's let this one slide, Cracker.
Let's relax. Listen, honky.
Yeah.
This has quickly become my favorite episode already.
Please, whatever you got, bring it on, baby. We'll get all the guilt out of the way. It'll be perfect. Your school, were you mostly on? Now, the closer you get to the city in Detroit, Detroit's one of the most segregated communities imaginable, just like Chicago is.
Yeah,
where it's basically a line that, and I grew up in Ann Arbor, so I was kind of a little bit away from the fray, but there's like lines that they told you in school don't cross.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so where are you in relation to where white people are afraid of? That's what I'm really saying.
White people are, as an overall, there's more dangerous places that white people might be more afraid of than where I lived, but white people still mostly would have probably felt uncomfortable just where I lived, just because of so many. And I wouldn't have known that until being out in LA, just the perception of Detroit that the world had. Because like when you live by Detroit, and people make jokes, then you just think of it as, just people making jokes of a city that they live near. You know what I mean? But then when you hear an outside perspective, and it's just like, wow, what have they been telling you? This is like, it's like I get it. It's not like I haven't heard any of the news, but you're going a little overboard. You're going a little overboard. I'm just like, never get gas from any gas station. Fucking don't. I'm just like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the people that are like, don't leave your doors unlocked. And I'm like, yeah, especially you, because you think there's a place that you should leave your doors unlocked. I hope you get robbed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why are you with it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You really live in, I'm from Detroit. You're from 1956. That is so stupid. I live on the 7th floor of a building. My door is locked right now.
Yeah.
Just lock your door. What? 15 seconds.
It doesn't. It's not a big, crazy, system to lock something, but yeah. So I grew. It's interesting that you say it's so segregated. Just Michigan and the Detroit area in general, and I think that was really interesting for comedy's perspective when I got into it too, because it's like you have Detroit, which, let's just for the sake of using rounding numbers, is 99% black, and there's Livonia, which is 20 minutes away from it, which used to be one of the whitest cities in America. It was like 99% white. And then there's Dearborn, which is the highest Arab population outside of the Middle East. And those are cities that are all, touching each other. And then it's like, and people have this view of like the North is less racist than the South. And it's like, I think it's way more complicated than just an easy thing you can say like that. When it's like in the South, maybe they might be more open with it, but they're not moving. They might live next door to somebody they hate. And then in the North, there's very cut, communities that I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah. There's like, I feel like in the North, there's just more different parts of town. We're like, that's the Irish part of town. That's where, that's where the Italians live. And then that's where, and it's like, that just, it seems like it's cultural, but it's really just segregated.
Yeah. Yeah. I love when it's just like a liberal white city. I love a thing that I don't get to do that often is open up with making fun of how like, I like to say, I don't remember stand-up anymore. Do you remember stand-up? Those were the days. And I'm trying to remember what I would say of just like, you guys look like the type of town that loves diversity as like a theory. Like, like on paper, it looks great, but this is still a white only city and we're not doing anything to change it. But I mean, on paper, sure, I'll vote for diversity. I just won't do anything about it.
Yeah. Like, I'll vote for diversity on a global scale, but like regionally, I'm gonna keep my neighborhood white. I think that's
I'd like to sell this place eventually. So. No thanks. That's Chicago in a nutshell. Where like I was playing I was playing FIFA against a stranger the other day on the internet, and I was like, he was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, Chicago." And he's like, "Oh my god!" Like he was like, "There's like this is like, is it safe where you are?" And I was like, "You mean my apartment? Yeah, it's fine. Just maybe here, you know." like the only thing I'm really worried about is like getting too bored. Like it's fine. But you know, and then he was like, "There's like a divide. It seems like it's on fire." And I was like, I would love if it was on fire. It'd be fucking warm. Like, you know, stupid. So you grow up. You're at Ayton Evergreen, and so your school mostly African American.
There was a sprinkle of whites. I think the first time in my life that I went to school was college, where maybe there'd be like 3 white kids in a class, probably at the most.
Damn.
But that maybe gym, you know. But typically, I was just the white kid of that class. And it wasn't until college that there was more. And some of these things I didn't like fully appreciate until I got older, and then I realized the breakdown of Southfield, because the school system might have been like 99% black, but the city is like, let's say 75 or 80% black, and then the rest of that is on the outskirts are the old Jewish people. And so what's just so interesting about that, it just the Southfield just shows how important and how stupid the funding for schooling can be, because it's like Southfield schools got renovated. It's you know what I mean? They got a new gymnasium, they got a new library, they got a new football field, and then it's like Detroit Mumford is like 15 minutes away. It's not like the students look the same. They have the you know what I mean? Like everything about it. You're like, why do they get 1 textbook per class sometimes? Why do they have a lack of school supplies? They're just around the corner. Oh, these imaginary lines that somehow break apart, you know, how the taxes from that community going back into the schooling. And I'm like, this is it. It didn't really hit me that it was a rarity or less common for there to be a well-funded black school, for lack of putting it bluntly, of just like and seeing just how purposeful that is in so many areas.
Definitely. And just taking school funding from property taxes. I mean, we don't usually get into the nuts and bolts of policy on the podcast.
It's a new class, you know, education.
Exactly.
Like, fart joke, quick, we're losing it.
We usually talk about how people set things on fire or
yeah.
But yeah, the property tax funded school system is in complete shambles. It's terrible, and it's a lot of that's why everything starts at a school level, and I think that's why there's a lot of problems in African American communities in Detroit, in Chicago, because the property taxes around those places are gun stores and liquor stores, which isn't great at all. And you know, and that's why it's I don't know how to get out of talking about this in a funny way. But it's a huge problem. And
in a funny way was the clear best way to end that sentence, because at first it was like, I don't know how to get out of this. I'm like, I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
This is
I know what I'm talking about.
Sponsors are gonna get pulled.
It's like Casper mattress, everybody. How's it going? Pop a Blue Chew and then have some sex on a Casper mattress, baby. But no, it's just that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Because it's a massive problem, and it really helps shape communities in a very negative way. That personally, I don't know about you guys, I think it stinks.
I think it stinks
big thumbs down over here.
But how? So you're in Southfield High. So I also thought when you said there's a couple classes with other white people, maybe Jim. I thought Jim was the other white guy. I'll be honest with you. I thought you and Jim were the two white guy. I was like, oh, man, we're hanging out. They call us dumb and dumber. We're the two white kids.
One of the other white kids in Southfield High that played sports besides me was also named Jeff.
Oh, fuck.
And nobody wanted to be the kicker. So I mean, like, he wasn't better than any other school's kicker, but he was better than the average student would be who wanted to kick. So they were like, this is it. And then, like, as a joke one time, I told the football coach, because he knew I ran cross country, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try out for kicker next year. And he took me seriously, apparently. And I got to be in football tech, which was just an easy A class. I wasn't on the football team. He just put me in the class because he believed me. That's an easy A for high school students.
So
the head coach.
Team, you're in football tech.
For an easy A to help your GPA so you can play football. And then they would just go over their plays. They would just go over like the playbook and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. And he's like, I thought you were going to try out for kicker. I was like, you believed me just because I'm white and also named Jeff? Is that it? What other evidence?
How about these Jeffs? These Jeffs love kicking footballs. Get them out there.
It's like we have a tradition. Every year a Jeff comes in and they kick. That's what they do.
We have white Jeff kick.
White Jeff.
White Jeff kicks the ball, all right?
That'd be funny for somebody to be like, they replaced White Jeff this year, right? Like, it's a position.
And a new White Jeff. Like at Notre Dame, they always just call the guy the leprechaun, but it's a different guy every year. Like, guys, you see the new White Jeff? He's black. Crazy. This is insane. There was they had one year they had a Latino leprechaun at Notre Dame, and people called him the Leper Juan, and I thought it was cute. So you're in football tech. Why didn't you just kick the ball, Jeffrey? Why didn't you just do it?
Hey, come on, Jeff.
You could have done it. Listen, I think
I ran cross country.
Oh,
I was doing a different sport.
Oh, that makes
sense. Even then, the cross country team the cross country team. It wasn't much. It was just me and a couple other people. We usually lost by forfeit because we didn't have enough people for it to be considered a race. Like, you need like 5. And and this is the worst part is that it's not a team. This is the worst part is just how much more athletic the basketball team was that some players in the basketball team, as punishment, the coach would be like, you have to run in the next cross country race, and there would be a kid wearing Jordans, and he was like, he beat me by like 3 minutes, and he would just and then he'd be like, yeah, this sport's easy, and I'm like, it's not easy. You're really good.
Like I've trained all year for this race.
I shaved my legs.
Like slippery.
Dynamic, and
I got cleats. You know what I mean? I got the spikes that are for the terrain, and he's wearing something that's sliding around.
Basketball shorts too. He's not even wearing. He's not even wearing racial.
Not even the nut huggers. Just freaking.
That's when I realized
shorts.
Just the lack of respect that the cross country team got was just outstanding. And it was hard for me to convince some people, like, I don't think you understand how much better at cross country you are than basketball too. Like, you're way better at this. You might be able to get a free scholarship and then walk on to play basketball. And they're like, I hate it so much. I don't ever want to do this again. And I'm like, you're so good.
That's amazing. Why cross country is a fascinating sport to me, because you just run,
Yeah.
You don't need to bring officials into this. Just have a nice run,
Let's have a nice run. Like, why do we have to? Josh Adams has a joke where he says that he doesn't believe that swimming is a sport. He's like, because at the end, whether you win or lose, you still went, or not swimming. He's like, whether you win or lose, you still went swimming. That's still got.
Oh, Josh is so funny.
That's how I feel about you just described running, where it's like, well, let's just go run.
Hey, have a run.
Why do we?
I mean, that's what their team was doing anyways. They weren't competing.
Yeah, Ken coming in from the sniper's nest.
The idea, I met kids at I went to Eastern Michigan, so in Ypsilanti, right next to Ann Arbor. And when I would have like a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt that said Southfield High cross country, there was some kid that was like from the Metro Detroit area, and he wanted to buy that shirt off of me because he thought it was so funny. He thought it was funny. He was like, of just like the idea of Southfield High having a cross country team to him was like hilarious.
What? Why?
Because I mean, like he was in. If you're into cross country, if you were in that world, then you're like, I never saw you guys, and you're like, that's because we didn't count. There was two of us. You would never.
I get that.
We didn't have enough for it to be a team. It was just Jeff and friends for like 3 years.
Which is, I mean, Jeff and Friends every Friday night at the Comedy Store. Go check it out. It's Jeff. He's got all his friends. They're great.
At Joey's.
Yeah, every Tuesday. Did you like being kind of an outlier in your school? Did you have any knowledge of this? Did you care?
I think as a kid I didn't care.
Yeah.
I might have cared more just as getting older when you learn that you're supposed to care what people think. Because when you're a kid, you don't give a fuck about anything. And then you get older and then you're like, I'm supposed to worry about things for no reason.
Yeah.
Nobody told me.
I'm the anxious every second of my fucking life. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So I think I would hear from my cousins and just the people that went to white schools. And I think I just was always appreciative of the school that I grew up in. Cause I was like, that sounds terrible. Of just like, there's just less cliques in if you have a school, whether it's finances or just lack of interests, because our school didn't lack finances as much as it was like Black people didn't want to be in the fucking swim team. They just didn't want to. They wanted to do other sports. So it's like you take away lacrosse and swimming, and you take away and then it's just I didn't know that kids in the band were considered to be geeks until I went to college.
Wow.
At Southfield High, that wasn't even a stereotype. Some of it was just when you have less activities, the popular kids are gonna do a little bit of everything. I didn't know that theater was considered lame. I didn't do it. I wish I did. You think it's dumb when you're a kid, and then you get older and you're like, oh yeah, I want to do the thing that they were teaching me for free when I was a kid, and I called it stupid.
Now I feel get my e-meter read to learn about acting now. This is terrible. I hate it.
They wanted to teach me this in high school, and then I was like, that's stupid. When would I ever need that? And then you get older and I'm like, I want to learn to do the thing. It's so dumb. I wasted all my education.
Busy running with your little buddies, Jeff. Too busy going on your little. That's like a really. I never kind of considered that would be a part of it. That's very cool that everyone was just like friends. It
did feel a lot more like that. It felt a lot less cliquey than when I just hear of people describe their high school experience. It didn't, at least for me, it didn't feel like, and I'm sure there's an aspect of me standing out being the white dude that helped, because then it's like I could stand out without having to be outgoing. Yeah. So then it's like I got to have attention kind of come to me, so I can still be secretly an introvert but also have friends.
Yeah.
And without as much having to put so much work forward. It was just, oh, Jeff's the regular white guy. There was the white guy that, was the rocker white guy. Yeah. There was the white guy that wore all black that, people thought he was a devil worshiper, but he was just goth. And
what a relief. Oh man. When we found out that other white Jeff was just goth and not a devil.
Other white Jeff. Now just in order to be white there, your name has to be Jeff.
Yeah.
Call everybody
they use it as like a slur almost. They're like, freaking check out Jeff over there. Like it's being real Jeff. He's eating mayo. Get out of here.
There was this girl I dated whose older brother. Long story short, because I don't know if this is an exciting story for me to interrupt on. There was this other guy. There was this other white. The other white Jeff was talking shit about her, and her older brother just heard white. He just assumed it was me, and he wanted to beat the shit out of me, and I was so confused. And he was like, "Oh, there's another Jeff." I'm like, yeah, there's another Jeff. It wasn't me. So it almost got me in trouble. It got me an easy A, but it almost had an Australian guy beat the shit out of me. It almost had happened. He was Australian.
Why is there an Australian guy? Get him out of there.
Get him. Yeah, I don't know. It was the girl that I dated. They were Australian.
What was that like? Did you throw another shrimp on?
I did nothing. I did nothing at all. All the shrimps and Barbies were in whatever place they were previously.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best. Hey man, you date an Australian girl, you meet her father, he's he's in the band Men at Work. It's no good.
I had a speech class with him, and he said that he used to work at Outback Steakhouse, and he was a server, and people would be like, "Oh, that's cute, but you don't have to do that."
That's amazing. That's great. I think that's so fucking. First off, he probably nailed that job interview in seconds. Like, how do you say no to that guy?
Yeah.
All right, mate. Put this apron on and start making me some money. Jesus Christ. What a great idea.
Oh, shit.
Oh boy. So but let's talk about the dating in high school. What's that like for a white Jeff?
That was it. Yeah, I was a late bloomer to things.
Oh, I see.
First person I dated was the girl in high school who was the first person to ask me. And then I think I secretly realized that very quickly that was the only thing that there was. Is all we had in common was she asked me, and that feeling made me feel good for somebody to ask me. I'm like, wow, that's nice of you. All right.
Amazing.
And that didn't last long. Because we didn't have a good foundation, and
as soon as you're done talking about her asking you out, where you go?
Yeah, where do we go from here?
Just right down the tubes. Well, like, did you feel like intimidated, or you just didn't care because you were you just didn't care yet, or were you intimidated by I don't know if I can talk to these girls?
I think it was just a shy, awkward guy, and I just would joke my way out of whatever this was. Yeah. If there was even like somebody could be flirting with me and I was just the kid that thought girls had cooties and was just like, I'm gonna joke my way out of here because you don't mean that. You're just fucking with me. I'm gonna get out of here. I still have the creepy mustache on. You know what I mean? And I lost my virginity in college when like a week after the cross country team shaved my mustache. The Eastern Michigan cross country team shaved my mustache as the grand finale of like a drunken night of like somebody shaved their head. Somebody, the captain of the cross country team whose name was Ace. He went by Ace. I know this sounds like a made up story. It is what it is. And so he shaved somebody's eyebrows. Somebody's head, and the mustache was the grand finale. It was the first time that a collective group of people wanted me to feel stupid for having that, and I needed that. But it was, I think that I just grew it at such a young age where it just people got used to me having a little facial hair, and so you just look up and it's like, holy shit, has Jeff always looked like that? And it's like, oh yeah, kind of, but if you grew up in the same school system, I feel like everybody from kindergarten all the way through senior year of high school, and people are like, that's just what he looks like, and nobody questioned it or made fun of it. at all in school, and they definitely should have. They definitely
Because they were
should have.
afraid you were the school shooter, Jeff.
Yeah.
They're like, I know this is hard to understand, but Jeff, all the white guys are weird to a degree. He's just got a weird mustache.
Yeah.
That he's harmless. There's the guy that looks like a Satan worshiper. You know what I mean? There's everybody else. Jeff's weirdness is just he's got a weird mustache, and so we would rather not question it. Just leave it the way it is. There's a guy that I had to describe this for the half hour I did the Kevin Hart thing. They wanted to find an embarrassing photo to like make fun of my like when I started comedy. But the thing was I was like, my most embarrassing photos were a few years before I started comedy, and those would be way more interesting. So I sent them like a whole my mom just took all of these school pictures of me, and there was a link that she put together for me, and I gave her a million pictures, and then they're just like, Jeff, I get that you didn't want to like pander to the Black community, but you maybe you should have a little. You know what I mean? Like that was, you didn't have to look that white with a mustache. Like I get it that you didn't want to be the white kid wearing FUBU, but there's something in between that and having the whitest fucking Halls and Notes fucking Hall and Oates. I don't even know it. I think it's Hall. It's Hall and Oates, right? Or is it Hall the letter N and then Oates?
I think it's Hall ampersand, the little curly Q. Yeah. Oates. But there's just one Hall.
Just one Hall. I said Halls, and I was like, that didn't sound right.
Halls is when you have a cough. You take a Halls.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was just like Halls and Oates, like just like a hearty breakfast after a cough drop.
So I said it wrong. I felt that it was wrong, but you didn't even know that it was wrong. You just accepted it.
Yeah, you thought we were talking about something completely different.
Like I don't even get the reference at all. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys.
Just Google it on your spare time.
I mean, Hall and Oates has some real dancey tracks, Ken. They're real. Boy,
I get confused because his name doesn't say Ken. It's Brandon.
Oh, yeah, it says.
So then in my head, I was like, man, I'm such a bad listener. I can't call him by his name because you said Ken.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, I think he said Ken, but it clearly says Brandon. So fuck it. I'm just gonna say him.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to, and then maybe that I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong.
I don't know why these are fun things again for the listener.
I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. It's but yeah, it's a different Zoom account. The shaving your mustache as like kind of pseudo hazing, would you call it hazing?
For sure hazing.
It wasn't presented as hazing. It was presented as a guy being like, look, I'm gonna change your life. You need this to happen, and you can accept it or not, but I know that you'll thank me later on in life. I'm confident enough to have you deal with the repercussions of me dealing with it, and it probably owe him everything.
Turns out shaving my mustache was my, Batman's parents getting killed in front of his face. It was just really,
it really was
really huge. That's amazing. That's so fucking funny. Did you like running cross country in college? I don't even know, where do you go from that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was so average.
You literally lost your virginity a week later.
It was a week later.
Yeah.
It was a week later.
Huh? Was it the guy that shaved your mustache? Sorry. That's not fair. That's not.
Hey, if that's what it took. Yeah. Gotta get. Yeah.
I think White Jeff's hot, but there's something that's a little off about him. I really want him, but I'm gonna take care of this. So at Eastern, which what a weird kind of school. My mom
Kind of school.
It is it's a very kind of school. And I say I'm drinking out of my DePaul.
Yeah.
It says
Here we do.
here we do. I think that should say here will do. Anyway, it's great to be here.
Yeah, Esther said you guys are college brothers.
Oh yeah, it's
Blue
it's
Demons.
Blue Demons. I realized I was talking to one of my buddy Rory, who actually just got into the nursing school at DePaul, and I was like, hey, I've only been to class in my extra bedroom. Like I haven't been there yet. It's very weird. But Eastern's that just like that. It's just next to the big school.
Yeah.
Next to this, like Ypsi's such a weird town.
Yeah.
What's I don't know. Did you live on campus or did you commute?
I did. I lived my first year. I lived in the dorms, and it was in Best Hall, and it was interesting. It was where just like half the people that lived there. It was one of the only co-ed dorms, and it was the athletic dorm.
Okay.
But it was but not everybody was in sports. But it would be like I'm still like friends with like so many people from my dorms that it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. My best friend in the world, I stood up at his wedding. I'm co-godfather to one of his kids. We had a film class.
Yeah.
Here. College is like weird like that. You have I think that's where you really make a lot of like lasting bonds. Like, do you still talk to anybody from your high school, Jeff?
Yeah. I still talk to a lot of people from my high school. There's people from my high school that moved out here too. There's people doing some cool things.
Hell yeah.
A friend of mine who's a professional dunker.
What?
Yeah. There's a kid I went to high school with named Chris Staples, who used to be on like the Harlem Globetrotters, and he's won different like Sprite dunk contests and things like that. And that's like what his job is he's a professional dunker. And so it's just funny when people look at people that do comedy and have any level of success of just like, oh, that must be cool. You get to travel and I'm just like looking at his Instagram, like he's like with the Eiffel Tower behind him dunking the ball, or he's like somewhere in fucking like just traveling the world dunking a ball. And I'm like, yeah, they never tell you that you can be this for a living when you're a kid.
Never.
No 5-year-old is going to be like, I want to be a professional dunker. They're going to be like, what the hell? How did you even know that?
Me? What do you mean a professional, like a basketball player? No. Just dunk.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't want to dribble. I don't do anything else. I just want to dunk.
Foul shots are dumb. I hate defense. Passing is for suckers. I'm a professional dunker, baby. Like, all right. What a crazy job. I watched professional cornhole the other night. Had no idea.
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah. They got like sponsors and shit. It's crazy.
They got sponsors.
Yeah.
Man, isn't it amazing when like how effective are those sponsors? It's like I just now found out that this thing was a thing. And there's already sponsors. Like you're so far behind to be in the in crowd of this community that you're like, oh wow, there's sponsors for the thing I didn't even know was real.
Like also, like, how do you get onto the pro circuit? Like, what is the process? Do you just win like a couple of bar tournaments?
I mean, I think there's probably scouts that go to like tailgate parties and like high school
scouts and tailgate parties,
and they're just like, oh. That kid had 7 beers and he just made a fucking.
I saw you over by the keg. You got a pretty good arm, kid.
Yeah. You have a very supple wrists. I think you are going places, my friend.
He gets carpal tunnel and he loses his scholarship. All right, sorry. I don't know.
It's like, oh, now I guess I have to play a different game on the lawn. One of the first times I was in Ireland, I was hanging out with my Uncle Thaddeus, and he goes, oh, would you like to watch the game? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fucking sports, oh yeah. And he turns on and it's darts. So you gotta fucking give me a heads up, dude.
Yeah, this is not the game. This is a game.
This is a
game.
Yeah.
Also, like, how do you back out of that at that point? You can't just be like, oh, actually, I'm not in the mood for sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was a real thing. You can't like just insult his whole life.
Yeah, just destroy everything because he's been like studying. He wants to be a pro player.
Yeah. He's like, he's one of the greats. He's gonna go to the Hall of Darts.
Oh, darts.
The Hall of Darts.
Yeah, like where's their Hall of Fame also? Like, is it just like at some bar somewhere?
Yeah.
O'Flanagan's. It's just in the back of an O'Flanagan's, and I don't know the names of. I just assume they have the same Irish bar names that we give them in fucking Metro Detroit and Royal Oak, Michigan. Is there no O'Toole's in Ireland?
Ireland is just it's one tilted kilt. One tilted kilt after another. As far as the eye can see, it is.
That's their McDonald's.
Yeah, that's
just.
It's all it is. It's just Bennigan's, and it is a lush green land filled with. It is a great country, and I love it dearly, and I can't wait to go back and throw a couple darts with my Uncle Thaddeus. It could have been anything. Like the game is anyway.
Yeah. In my head, I was like, it's gonna be rugby, and you're gonna feel out of place because you don't know that much about rugby. Yeah. And then I was way off. I was trying to guess at where you were going. I'm like, he didn't say the sport name for a reason. We're gonna get to it. I did not guess sport. I did not guess darts.
He's laying
well off.
Crumble. Crumbly crumbles. So did you like schoolwork? Like, did you have any interest in that? Did you?
No.
Of course not. Yeah.
There's an article that I read today on accident. I feel like I got to apologize for reading. That's how, I don't know why. That's probably the most ignorant thing that a human adult person can say. But I feel like because I don't want people to think that I like read like an encyclopedia. No, I clicked on a thing and read 3 paragraphs. But it was about the dangers of asking a kid what they want to be when they grow up, and how we should never ask a kid what they want to be when they grow up. And I was reading and I was like, that was me. I feel like, because they were saying that sometimes it makes a kid feel like that's you ask it so young when they don't know anything. You know what I mean? They're 5. They know what a doctor is, an ice cream man, and Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, and then so it's like they don't know anything. And we're asking them what do they want to do for the rest of their entire life. So I feel like I grew up thinking that. I grew up thinking that what you were was who you were. Whatever job you were, that's your whole identity. So since I never could figure out what I wanted to do, and I just wanted to go waste money in college until I ran out of general ed classes and they made me have to pick a major, and I'm like, all right, you called my bluff. Now I owe you thousands of dollars, and I'll just tell dick jokes for as long as I'm allowed to. That's how I became to be.
Eventually make you stop. They're like, you can't tell dick jokes anymore.
You can't, you know.
You're done.
And I was like, wow, yeah, I never, not that I hated school as much as I was like, none of these things reminded me of a thing that I wanted to do. Like, just like I never did it. And it was like, I wish that they forced, our school had so many opportunities that I think should have been forced to children, and instead we're just, hey, if you want to check out this room, it's called the Career Center. It's got all this information on every career that exists and may help you figure out what you want to be. No, they should have been like, hey kids, you're all fucking stupid because you're kids. You got to go to the Career Center because you're stupid kids. Whether you like, they should.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to say no. I want to go to gym. I don't want to figure out what I want to do for my whole life.
Of course, yeah.
The Career Center is just where like the 3 other awkward like white kids would play like Magic the Gathering. That's what the Career Center was. It was just a place where the most awkward white kids would play a card game that I didn't understand. Yeah. And that's all. But instead, it was way more than that.
Yeah.
It could have helped me.
That I remember having that exact same feeling, even in college as well, where people be like, "What do you want to do?" And I'd be like,
Yeah.
I think I want to be a comedian. Other than that, no, I have no idea. And I remember going in, I picked political science as my major going into Michigan State because it sounded familiar. I know what politics is. I've heard of science. There's an election this year.
Huh?
We'll see. We'll see. And then I eventually, pivoted 8 times. And then it took me years to figure out like, oh, maybe I like this like mentoring aspect of, I like the mentoring aspect of these other jobs that I had. Maybe teaching, but like that literally took 30 years for me to figure out.
Damn.
Yeah.
And there's no way, like, do you think there's any way to kind of speed up that process for kids so we don't all have massive student debt?
I don't know about that process. I just don't think we should have to pay for college. I think they lie about how expensive it is. But now we're going down to the political side of it.
But this is
it's just so funny. And people add up the amount of money that like is owed in student debt, and then people say that's how much money it would cost to pay for college. And I'm like, that's not how it works. A bag of chips. If somebody steals a bag of chips, the store did not lose $1. It only cost them 5 cents to buy that bag for them to get that bag. So it's just everybody's math is all exaggerated to make it seem like, well, we could never fucking. It's just weird. It always goes up in price.
The interest is crazy.
How does it always go up in price? How do the teachers get paid the same money? The buildings are already paid for.
Right.
We're paying for the books.
Yeah.
Everything. There's no. It doesn't add up.
My favorite part of school tuition is out of state versus in-state tuition.
So dumb.
Why do you pay more to go to a school that's out of state? Like, does it cost more for the school to teach you because you don't understand their regional dialect? Like,
it's just because fuck you. Huh? Yeah. That's the reason. The reason is fuck you, Brandon Ken.
It's like international students. They're like, hey, you have to pay $100,000 a year to go to school here. Like, why? We just don't want you coming to our country, I guess.
Yeah.
I love the teachers that didn't have the decency to email us and tell us that we didn't need to buy the textbooks. And then we're just out $300 fucking dollars. You get there and they're like, you guys didn't buy the textbooks, right? And I'm like, yeah, I tried to be like a good student, and egg on my face, or whatever the saying is.
I was trying to get a 3.5 this year. I bought the textbooks. Fuck me, right? My favorite college scam, and make no bones about it, it's a scam, is when a teacher has written a book and they assign the book for their class. They're getting you twice.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Imagine if Bill Bouchard, when he was teaching his comedy class, was like, all right, so first in order to teach comedy, you're gonna have to buy my album.
Yeah. You have to buy
we're gonna study you gotta buy it from me directly. And then we're gonna discuss it. You'll learn a lot about comedy, and at least I'll make $100 off you guys.
Yeah, I should tell you, my album is I sell them for $700 a piece. I think it's pretty good.
That's always my favorite part about the teacher, like the professor that has their own book. It's always like a paperback shit book, and then they charge like $300.
We had my freshman year at Michigan State. I had a class with a teacher named John Malloy, who was, I think he was about 129 years old. He was
ish.
Yeah, he was in the 120. He was in his late 120s. It's kind of the vibe he gave off. Like, I don't want to settle down. He's a real, but he was just like this. He had like this hangdog face, and he made us buy 5 of his books. Five. 5 of his books.
Wow. There's a collection. That's a collection.
Yeah, I'm mad at him right now.
Yeah,
I am.
you should be.
I have nothing to do with this. I'm as far removed as I could possibly be, but I want to fuck that man up.
Yeah.
See him knock on his door and be like, "Hey, excuse me." It's insane.
Yeah.
5 books per student.
Yeah.
Every kid.
Yeah, I love that. That's so smart. He went to school not to be a professor. He went to school to sell books. That is it.
Yeah.
I got to get this PhD so I can sell this collection of books because Wall Street, nobody's buying these. Like I got to get these out here. It's not a New York bestseller. I got to sell these books to somebody.
They're just about how Congress works too. Not like
he signed the back of all of them.
5 reasons. I do 5 books for that. Just they all come in, they take your money. Fuck you.
I think he asked for a pay raise and they didn't give it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll fucking show you.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. I'm getting it one way or another."
And the Ulrich's bookstore is gonna give me my raise. You guys, you idiots. Johnny Malloy is getting his. That happens constantly.
And they get outdated, and it doesn't justify the price of the book being outdated for what the class is.
Yeah.
Like, you used to have a joke about it, but it was a true story of like a kid I knew that was a history major, and he bought a textbook and it was outdated. It's like World War I history. I'm like, what? No, it's not outdated. It's a book about World War I history. We know it.
Yeah,
we know that.
You got this one on lock, baby.
We took good notes. Okay, you're gonna make him buy a fucking new one? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, great notes on World. Man, there was Wonder Woman.
In 2014, we found out a lot of new stuff about World War I.
Yeah, because a documentary came out called Wonder Woman, and she ran all over that thing. You was zipping this ways and that.
Captain America was involved somehow. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh boy. But what, like, is there any aspect, like, were there any like teachers or anything in the academic school that you really did land with you?
Yeah, there was a teacher I remember named Mr. Clinkscale, and good name.
We are going to have to compile all of the names of teachers that people have said on the show, because every time someone says the name of a teacher, it's the funniest name in the world.
Just a montage of names. Let's do it. We'll just get a montage of fucked up names from all these.
Mr. Glockenspiel, Mr. Sawyer Pants. It's the best shit in the world. Anyway, sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. Mr. Clinkscale was a science teacher, but he was like, I feel like he was the first teacher I had that like I could tell how much he enjoyed teaching, to where like it made me if the teacher loves doing it so much that you feel rude by not enjoying yourself, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and I would ask him questions just to be annoying. I would try to think, but he would actually know the answer to it. I would ask him, how does a picture work? I remember I'm asking him questions just trying to stump him, and he's like, well, you could be joking, but do you like actually want to know? And I was like, I was joking, but yes, I do also want to know.
Like, you seem like you have the answer.
I was like, yeah, I didn't know that yeah, exactly. And he's like, well, actually, and I don't remember the answer anymore, but he had an answer of like how to take, I was like, how do you take a picture? It's not real. It's an image our eyes see, and then it's printed on a piece of paper. How the fuck does that happen? And he like, and so yeah, that always stuck with me, but at least just by the comparison of other teachers that I would have that were like, read this book and answer the questions on the worksheet, and it was the same book and worksheet that my sister did when she went to the school 6 years earlier, and it was the Huckleberry Finn, whatever. It's just like, it's like there's some aspect of it I'm like, I'm sure some of these things are classics, and the other aspect of it I think is we already wrote out the lesson plans for these.
Yeah,
we don't got to redo it. We can just print it out online and hand it to the kid. And so like when you see the drastic difference of like the teacher, there are many teachers, but when you can just tell the difference between a teacher that really really has a passion for teaching, that I think just goes a long way.
I 100% agree. It's just such a marked difference. And I think it's kind of the same thing as comedy. Like you can see that someone is enjoying themselves up there. I think it translates.
Yeah.
I just remember I had a teacher, my English teacher, freshman and sophomore year, was a guy named George Dufour. And the way he would talk about like the Odyssey and stuff like that was just like, this is like the oldest book imaginable. But the way this guy is talking about it, this is awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
And contrast that to other teachers who are just like, it's nice.
Yeah.
And I think that more teachers.
That's a really good impression of teachers.
It was perfect. And I think there's more teachers that give a shit now.
Sure.
Which is great. And I think this idea that teaching is more of an art than a trade is good and very interesting. And hopefully that idea keeps going. Speaking of keeping going, Jeff, this has been I've had a blast. This has been super fun. We've had a lot of chuckles, but it's time for the dang pop quiz, Jeff.
Oh man, I'm ready.
Today we got tell us the charity you're playing for.
Oh hey, the charity that I'm playing for is support relief efforts in Texas.
Awesome.
And so they going towards a lot of different, it says the Bridge Homeless Recovery Center, Ending Community Homeless Coalition, Family Elder Care, Houston Food Bank, and other things like that.
Awesome. Texas is going through a tough time right now. Our network is based down there. Ken was just down there. Ken was in Austin. You got out right before the shit hit the fan, huh?
Jesus Christ, dude! My flight actually got canceled, and then I had to get on the next flight out. I went to Colorado and then flew from Colorado. It was crazy. Yeah,
we're lucky. You're back. We're happy. You're safe.
Happy you're safe.
We'll get
my girlfriend has a lot of family in San Antonio, and so just been hearing of how things are going there, and it's crazy, and the whole system is not prepared for that weather at all. It's something.
Between COVID and this, I think we can all safely say that maybe we should have more government. Who knows? Maybe libertarianism is anyway.
Wasn't it? You can edit this part of it out if we don't want to get specific in politics, but it was just, it's like, we don't have to I'm not saying that everybody's got to love Bernie Sanders or anything, but if people were it's fun. He's talking about socialism and how we need more money to go towards different things. And then everybody's saying, no, that's impossible. And then Trump signed like $2.8 trillion to help businesses at the beginning of the pandemic. And then it's just like, you can just print it out. You can.
That's what he said.
You can. You can. Everybody said you couldn't do it, and then until there's an emergency that affects them, and then it's we didn't give a fuck about. Rich people are getting affected now. Okay, we gotta fix this problem. We gotta do something.
Like, have you guys heard that people are poor? Like, what? We don't want to be poor.
What? We almost became one of the poor.
I don't want to be poor.
This is insanity.
Where are we gonna get the money from? I don't know, 5% of the military budget to cover it.
Yeah.
Anyway. What I'm saying is that we should let comedians be the president.
We just had a clown as the president.
Not even a comedian, just comedians.
As a collective.
As a collective.
Yeah. Everybody send in your avails. We'll get you a day to be a president.
That's hilarious. You're president for like a weekend.
Get your week run.
Okay, who doesn't have shows? Who's not doing shows? You can go be president. if you're booked, you don't get to be the president.
Yeah.
But if you have a weekend off,
Yeah.
Travails in.
Selling merch. Selling merch like your teacher was. That 5 fucking textbooks.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pass a law that everybody has to buy 3 of my textbooks and my album for sure.
It's like finally the State of the Union address has the words rate, review, and subscribe in it. We did it. We did it, America.
Subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah.
The president's Patreon. Holy shit. Did Trump get banned from Patreon? Because he could easily fucking make a killing off of that.
I mean, he reinvented like Patreon because he used so many donations for like legal fees
for his own. Yeah. And he would say it. It would say it on the website. That's the crazy thing. There's a Trump supporter that doesn't believe what you just said. And also on that website, it says that like whatever percentage, like 50% of the money is going to pay for my legal fees. That's insane.
So dumb. Anyway, that guy's a real jag.
Huh?
And we're the first people to ever talk about him. So
Yep. You heard it here first.
First. MTV News. You guys remember MTV News?
Oh yeah. I didn't know what that jingle was until you said it at the end.
Yeah.
I thought you were just making up a stalling trivia jingle. I didn't remember.
Speaking of stalling, I got a quiz for you.
Oh God. I'm not gonna even cheat. I'm not gonna Google it.
You're not.
I kind of want to ask her. I want to phone a friend. I'm scared.
You can phone
Everybody's
a friend.
Gonna know.
We've had partners be phoned before.
Oh shit. All right. Might have to get her involved if I don't want to look stupid and at least point out that someone in this house is smart.
I full disclosure, completely forgot to write the quiz, but I did Google geography trivia questions. We're gonna
God, that's the
questions.
Oh man. Nothing points out that you don't care about other places in the world and that you're a self-centered white piece of shit than geography. Let's do it. Where is this located? Not where I live, so fuck it. Next question.
Fun fact, we always give $25 regardless, so.
Okay. All right, I was going to feel a lot of pressure.
Oh, for sure. I figured out after the first one, I was like, I cannot, in good conscience, not give all the money because then I'm a dick. Like
that would be amazing to post the picture of you donating $5 because somebody got it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, comics are stupid. This isn't.
They're dumb. Listen, I asked questions about the things that they liked and they didn't get it. So, like this, listen. A comic didn't know enough about wrestling, so they're only $5 to anyway. It's for all these relief funds in Texas. Again, if you donate, I'll show you on the podcast. We have 2 people who I would like to induct to the Mike O'Keefe Circle of Admiration. Number 1, Scrump from the Pro Wrestling Tees podcast. Thank you, Scrumpy. You're a good man. And number 2, my childhood best friend, who's a huge fan of the show. Huge fans probably sounds weird because he's a guy I've known for 30 years. But Steven Smith, you're the man. Thank you so much for listening. You're
Stevie.
Best.
I don't know if that's his nickname. I'm sorry to nickname your friend. I just said it like I knew that. Stevie. I just said it confidently, like that was.
We went Smitty though.
Smitty.
I will say this. He, at my father's funeral, he and my Jewish girlfriend were like in the service, like they had parts. And my Mallory was so nervous about what to do. And Steve just went, I've done this shit a million times. But he didn't realize that there was a priest standing next to him. So at my dad's funeral, he swore in front of a priest in the fucking church. Amazing.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I was wondering how the Jewish part related for a second.
No.
You're like, my Jewish girlfriend. I'm like, do you introduce her as your Jewish girlfriend?
Jewish girlfriend, my white Jeff. That is what I. So introduce people. Let 'em
It's
know.
right to the point. I let you know their name and something about them.
Yeah.
There you go. It's
Here's my buddy Ken. He's very fast.
fast Ken.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right.
Again, these are from the internet. Question number 1. What is the state capital of Washington State?
Oh yes.
Washington State, you say?
Yes.
The capital of Washington State. All right, let me think of any cities I can think of in the entire state.
And do you know?
Oh man. Huh?
Ken, do you know this one?
I do know this one. I'm from Washington State.
Oh, okay, there it is. Hey, Esther, do you know the capital of Washington State? I'm bringing in a phone a friend
Yeah.
Starting
in
out
real
early.
life. You can walk in. You can come here if you want or not. Whatever you want to do is. She
Yeah.
doesn't know.
I never
No, I have somebody to blame it on when I don't know it. Do you know any city in Washington? Because that's where I'm struggling right now.
Ouch.
The entire state as a whole.
Man.
Seattle. Seattle's in Washington, right?
Seattle is in Washington. That is true.
It is true.
Not,
There's
not
no
true.
way that it's that. I just didn't want to leave the answer blank. That looks worse
Respect
than
that.
so
I do. I get it.
Portland, that's Oregon.
It's Oregon.
Oregon.
Seattle,
Did you say Oregon?
Yeah, you say
Oregon. I don't know.
Oregon.
I've never been there, so I don't think I have to pronounce places correctly that I haven't been.
The case.
They don't exist. If I've been there.
Oregon. I pronounced the EO. We're gonna go with Seattle, and I'm wrong. Final answer.
Ken, what's the answer?
Olympia.
It's Olympia.
Olympia? Have you ever heard of Olympia, Washington?
It's a-
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Maybe Esther has. Yeah, never heard of it. Wow. All right. Reason number 1 while I'm stupid. What else we got?
Here's another one. The body of the Egyptian Sphinx is based on which animal?
The body of the Egyptian Sphinx. A cat?
Sphinx. Yes, that's correct. It says lion.
Yeah.
Lion's a cat. Last time I checked.
It is a cat for sure.
Lion's a cat.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Lion's a cat.
One of these guys. It's a cat. You won.
Don't try and
Look at that.
You won, Coco.
Losing for the people.
cat. Like it's such a cute.
Yay. Yay. All right. Sorry.
This next one, I don't think you're gonna get it.
Oh God.
Based on what I've seen so far, I do not like your chances.
I got nervous when you said Washington without knowing the rest of the question.
You're just like, I don't know.
I was like, this ain't gonna be good. I know it's not Washington, D.C., because that's something else weird. They're trying to be a city now. They're like fighting.
City.
Trying to be a state.
Yeah. What? They're trying to be their own state? Washington, D.C.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're gonna be all right, sure. Let's go with that.
51 states.
There are, or they're trying to be the 51st. What do you?
Yeah,
what do
I
you
think they're also trying to bring. I think Puerto Rico is trying to become a state as well.
Yeah.
And
I heard of that.
Guam.
I think so. I think all of our all of the places that we own but like don't own
Territories.
Yeah.
mostly do.
Yeah.
Trying to be states.
They're like, we want some respect.
Put some respect on our name,
Yeah.
please. And then Connor's like, I don't want to do that. What is the smallest country in the world?
There's no multiple choice. You're gonna make me think of all the countries.
I tell you what, I will give you a multiple choice. A, Scotland. B, Northern Ireland. C, Vatican. D, Luxembourg.
Wow. I thought Vatican was a place. Didn't know that was a city. Northern Ireland. I thought I didn't know that we broke Ireland. That just sounds like a direction of Ireland.
Listen, I could go for days.
Scotland is the only one that I've really even heard of out of that whole option, but I don't think you would have put that one as, or would you? You paused the right amount for all of them. I was hoping you were going to accidentally be like, oh, and what else for D? And then obviously I'm like, well, that's not that one because you didn't even think of all your 4 multiple choice options before you did the question. I was hoping I was going to get you like that, but you didn't. What was the last noise you said?
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg?
Luxembourg.
I don't even know what continent that's on. I don't even know what half of the globe, the left or right half. I wouldn't even know top or bottom hemisphere.
Into Luxembourg. Is that about me?
Vatican.
There you go.
I got it.
You got it.
That's a country.
I'm a genius.
Its own sovereign nation inside the walls of Rome.
No
Vatican.
way.
Yep.
Wow.
What?
Wow. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that, Ken? I knew that.
Good thing I'm not taking the quiz.
It's like how Hamtramck is in the city, but it's you know what I mean? Like it's surrounded by
Hamtramck. They've got their own set of laws. That's a weird. I remember when there was like no smoking, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we didn't do that."
Yeah, we're not.
They had ashtrays inside their bar. Like they weren't even pretending they weren't smoking inside. They were making it easier.
Hamtramck's such a good for them. Good for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially all the people in Hamtucky, baby. All right. We got one more, two more. In which city would you find the Spanish Steps?
The Spanish Steps.
Hey,
Hey, Esther.
Do you want me to do
heard
the
about
multiple choice again?
1 second. Let me phone a friend before I do the multiple choice. Have you heard of the Spanish Steps? You haven't? All right. Yeah. Well, let's go to the multiple choice.
All right. A, Edinburgh, Scotland. B, Seville, Spain. C, Rome, Italy. D, Brussels, Belgium. Home of our one Belgian fan. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for continuing.
What was C?
C was Rome, Italy.
What was the question? I got so discouraged by the time I got to C. I was like, I already know this one's wrong, man. I forgot what I was even. I'm sorry. My sister called in the middle of it, and I was like, I'm gonna tell her that I'll call her back. And then and then by that time I'm like, all right, the only way out of this is honesty.
Yeah. Where are the Spanish Steps?
Spanish Steps. We're still doing that. We're still at the Spanish Steps. Oh God, Spanish Steps. One more time.
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah.
Seville, Spain. Rome, Italy. Brussels, Belgium.
I mean, like I would want I would want to say Spain, but then I feel like that's the gimme answer. I feel like they're called the Spanish Steps, and they're somewhere that's not Spanish, and that's my guess because it seems too easy to fucking it's Italy. Let's go with Italy.
Oh my God, you got another one!
Yeah.
Wow. See, everyone goes, I have what part of my day job is hosting trivia. Everyone goes, I'm just going to be terrible. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be horrible. And then they do well.
Right.
People need to start getting more trivia hubris.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're listening,
I agree.
Believe in yourself when it comes to trivia. I'm telling you, you're better than you think you are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a motivational podcast now.
Oh my God. I wish I could get on that grift where you just go, oh, you're so great. You're amazing.
It's like I enjoy some motivational things, but I also enjoy making fun of motivational things. So I feel like it puts me in a weird position because I feel like I could honestly be a very good motivational speaker if that's what I wanted to do. And I also like to make fun of that job as a whole. So like it's like to me it's the same as like country singing, where I'm like, I think I'm actually I hate country music and I don't like to sing, and I think I would be a fine country singer. I really do, like confidently.
I think you would be a great country singer because you want to be a country singer, and I think that's all you really need at this point. If you just really want to be a country singer, you could do it. Everything's changed. The world's different.
It's a sign-up sheet now.
Yeah. You send in your avails the same way you do for president.
For president, yeah.
To be a fucking country singer. Okay, we got
one last question.
One last question. And this is them. I read it and I said, this is a crazy question.
That was Tim the Toolman Taylor on that.
Speaking of politics, we should all be taking refuge from a guy who is in jail for running coke for God.
Oh man, talk about white privilege. Oh,
right. All right. Boy, oh boy.
His career got better.
Yeah.
After he got
it started. It started. When he was running coke in Kalamazoo, he was just a guy. He was in college, and then he got to have 2 successful sitcoms, each one shittier than the next. Boy, oh boy, that guy is a dullard. And watch me taking down the heads of state in comedy. There is a village called Fucking.
Okay.
Fucking.
Yeah.
It is in what country?
Fucking is in what country? Have you heard of a city called Fucking? Or a village or any? All right.
I love the idea of you yelling that, and then she's just like, "Is that? Are you trying to make something happen, buddy?" Have you heard of a city called Fucking? What?
I'm gonna try that one tonight for sure.
I think you should.
Fucking.
Do you want me to give you 4?
Fucking yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A. This is what I do after I give a pause for each one. I go, A.
Yeah, I noticed that. You didn't give any tells. You're pretty good at it.
Doing best.
Yeah.
A. It's in Trinidad and Tobago. B. Austria. C. Albania. D. Switzerland. Or Switzerland is more commonly.
Austria.
Oh my God. You got it. You got it. How is he doing this?
How is he?
The other ones I was lucky. That one sounded, I was like, I feel like I've heard this before, and maybe it'll sound familiar. I'm just gonna go with what my heart wants to go with.
Well, you nailed it, buddy.
But I can't point at where like any of these places are though. I can't point to Austria. I can't do that.
Anyway, $25 going to all these wonderful Act Blue efforts in Texas. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. What a pleasure. Great to hang out. Great to catch up. Great to crack a little wise. If you got anything to plug away.
Hey, you can follow me at Jeff Horste on all social media, JEFF HORSTE. You can find me on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok world. And I have a web series that I do, web series show thing called Roast This Post, where I insult politically leaning, social leaning things of what's happening in the world. And that's on all YouTubes and all the social medias as well. So check it out.
It's good stuff. I watch those
man.
every week, and I go, oh, Jeff, very sharp. Also, I have dates, live dates to plug.
What are they?
Oh yeah.
Not crazy. I'm at the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase in May. It's in May, specifically the 14th and 15th, May 14th and 15th, back at the Old Home Club, Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. Also, we've been linking their GoFundMe in the show notes. I think they're still asking for money. Give them money. They need it. Raj is the
Good
best.
guy.
He's
Yeah.
great. Speaking of a mustache, I would never shave that mustache off of Roger. He's the best. And then June 11th and 12th, I'm at the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And that's a good deal. They cap the shows at like 30 or 40 tickets, but they do a live stream. So once they have that all set up, we'll put the link to that in the show notes for this. Awesome. But again, that's not till June, so just live your life until then, I guess. Ken, what's your deal?
I have some more.
What's your deal?
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. What's going on in your fucking face?
My deal. I got some live dates. I got I'll be in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, March 5th and 6th. I'll be at Teehees. I'll be doing a drunken night out live there, and then I'll also be doing I'll be like headlining a show out there. And then I'll be up in like northern Iowa on like the 6th. I think it's like a casino or some shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I worked with is it Sioux City, Iowa?
Sioux City, yeah.
Oh, great. I did that with Dustin Diamond a couple
Is it? No, I don't know if it's Sioux City. I'm not sure exactly.
It doesn't matter.
It's like part of the Teehees group stuff. I don't know.
Oh, part of their little right on.
They got something up there.
Cool.
Then you can check out A Drunken Night Out live, like everywhere podcasts are available. And then my website, bigblackschlongs.com.
Yeah, there it is, baby. Awesome. And
Damn, you're the one that took it.
Yeah.
You took it.
Get this, Jeff. It cost him $75,000 for that.
Wow.
Worth every penny.
Was traffic side of the web. Anyway, this has been so much fun. Again, thanks to Jeff. I'm at the Mike O'Keefe on all the shit. Awesome. I have a crush on Danny Fernandez. Ass dismissed.